Welcome to part 5 of the Ford Shelby GT500 build-up. Made a little bit more progress on the kit so far that I thought I'd share with you. We've got most of the interior parts in now, so the back seats are in properly, the front seats are glued in, and we've also got both sides of the kit glued in as well. There's also some engine work that's gone on, or in the engine bay we've got on that side there. Hopefully you can see that. We've got a little bit of aluminium in there. We've still got the little part that goes on there that needs to go in, but overall quite happy with the progress on this so far. Just working now on the lighting sections of it. I have decided to go with the LED tape. I think that's just going to be the cleanest way of doing it, really, to be quite honest. So what I've done in that regards, hopefully you can see there, we've got some LED tape. That's a strip of 6 LED. Now these were the white LEDs, but all I've done is I've just taken them down to the desk so they don't move, and then I've just coated them with the Tamiya clear orange. I just need to wait for those to dry, really, and then I can start tacking them in. The idea is that if we bring the interior back into shot again, I'm going to run a 6 strip which will go down there, and the first one will come up about the stereo height, which is good. That's all right. And then the next strip of 6 will go along on the inside of the dashboard, and that will help to give the well, I'm hoping the glow from underneath the dashboard into the footwell. I'm hoping that will do that as well. Once that's done, and then I can then just really start working on the door pockets themselves and seeing how I can do those. But if I can get the interior parts done first, that'd be great, and then I can work out how I'm going to do the rest of them. So that's where we are with that. The other thing that I've done as well is I have used the Americana acrylic paint, black. Let me just pan out, actually, because that still zoomed right in. There we go. So I've used the Americana acrylic paint, which is the black. So excuse me. And what I've done is all of the suspension parts and whatnot, I've just generally given them a good coating of that, and that sort of like applies to everything, really, that goes underneath. So we've got all of these bits as well. They've been done in the same. I need to paint the water bottles here in white. This part I need to paint separately, so that hasn't been painted yet. All of those bits have been painted. And we've also done all of the different various grills as well in that. It's just basically to vary the tone of different types of black, really. One of the other things that I've done as well is I've also done the radiator shroud as well. That does call for a gloss black, but I didn't have a gloss black. So what I used instead, it was a bit of a cheat, really, to be quite honest. I used the Alclad gloss black, which is the undercoat for the chrome. That's so that's what I used, because I didn't have any black at all, and I couldn't be bothered to go out and buy any. So I've done that. That's perfectly dry now, which is great. The rest of the plastics, all of the parts that were black, they were treated with the Alclad light sheen clear coat. just to help seal the craft paint in. We all know that craft paint is water based. If you used to dunk it in a bottle of water, the black paint would then automatically come off, so that definitely does need to be sealed. So that's what I've done. The other thing that I need to do is the battery box, or the battery. That needs to be done in white as well. So at the moment I'm just going to wait for the Alclad clear coat to dry on all of the black parts really fast, before I start chopping them off the trees. And especially with this top part as well, I'm going to need to do some masking off around this area so I can paint those white. So I definitely need to let them dry, to be fair. The other thing that one of the other things that I will be looking at doing is, if I can get the damn thing, I'm having to wrestle with it. There we go, got it. There are some little bits and pieces under here as well that I need to do. Like, we've just got different types of wires and cables and bits and pieces underneath this that just need to be treated in different colours really, just to help liven it out. Once that bit's done, I'll then be able to start putting the chassis together, which would be great. I also need to, at some stage, there is a call out on the instructions. Let me just see, there it is, yeah. You've got 17A or 17B for the rear suspension, which basically alters the way that the wheels sit. So with the 17A, the back end of the car is sitting up a little bit more. If you take 2mm out of the suspension, it drops the back end a bit, so it's kind of hugging the road a little bit more. So that's the next one of the steps for me to do, is get that done. I haven't clear coated the body yet. The main reason why I haven't done that is because I've decided to go online, and for a whole whopping 99 pence I got myself a tack rag. So before I spray that again, I'll be able to use the tack rag on that just to help get rid of any dust on it, and then I'll be able to cover the model up, which would be great. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. There's a little bit that's gone on, but not like huge amounts. I mean, I've made some quite good progress, but you know, it doesn't look as though I have, because nothing has really been put together properly yet, even though we have got some of the interior put into the cabin there. So that's about it for the moment. I will come back to you as soon as I got some more work done to this wee beastie. So we just got a quick lighting test for the centre console, for the mood lighting and the little buttons that are on the centre console as well. I've got the LED tape itself attached to the car. It's not in place properly. I just need to sort of super glue it along the edges of the strip, just to make sure that it doesn't move at all. I don't think it would ever move, but to be fair, you know, it's always best to make sure and super glue properly, to make sure that it doesn't ever move. So as you'll recall, we've got the LEDs painted with the Tamiya clear orange, and it's running on 9 volts. Now the lighting itself is quite subdued, which is the way that I wanted it to be, because mood lighting is never meant to be kind of raw in your face. It's just meant to be a kind of a relaxing light, and I think it's actually turned out quite well. So if we just turn the power on, and I do believe we're just going to need to turn the lights out as well, just to get a better effect for it, because all of these lights are a bit too bright. So there we go. You might have just seen a little bit of a change there with the lights coming on. But if we just turn the lights off, there you go. Hopefully you can see a little bit more of a change to it. And if I just get the main light turned out as well, there you go. You can kind of now see the light. If I just put my finger over that one that's sticking out, that's going to power the stereo, you can see there we've got quite a nice glow coming through from that, and you can see that the buttons there do also have quite a nice sort of glow to them, and you can still clearly see the buttons on each one of those as well, which is pretty good. So I'm kind of happy with the way that that's turned out. So the thing that I really need to do, as I say, is just sort of get that taped into place now, and then when I'm ready, just solder the wires up, and then I can solder those wires onto the ones that are running inside the dashboard once I've tested those, just to make sure that everything's running okay. I mean, I'm not going to do the dashboard one just yet. Just sort of working on the chassis a little bit at the moment. I just want to break from doing the interior and the lighting, so I just thought I'd just carry on and do some more work on the interior, or sorry, the chassis work and whatnot, and then carry on doing the components for the interior. So that's it for now. I will come back to you as soon as I've got a bit more work done. Got the lighting sorted out for the dashboard now, and I gotta say, it's looking pretty good actually. So that's wired in. The only things that are really left for me to do on the interior are the steering wheel, which I need to light up, and also the gear stick as well needs to go in. And then that's pretty much what the interior finished. So I haven't actually glued the stereo system. Sorry, I haven't glued the dashboard into place. Oh, I need the pedals as well. They kind of fit just underneath the dashboard. So yeah, she's not looking too bad at the moment. Quite happy with the progress on this. So if we just get the lights on so you can have a look. Hopefully you just saw a little bit of a flick of a light there. So what we've done is we've got a strip of 6 LED across the back, and again that's been clear coated with that's been coated with the Tamiya clear coat, the Tamiya clear orange. Oh, I got there in the end. And what that's doing is that's backlighting all of the instruments, and it's also bringing the light down into the footwells as well, which is what I wanted. So if we just turn off some of the lights here, I didn't want it sort of too bright, to be quite honest, but this is the kind of last thing I really wanted. Now we are filming in sort of daylight here, so, but you can see there the kind of glow that we've got. We've got the you can see all the instruments lit up properly. You can see the light coming through the center console through the strips that we've built in. Not really too happy with those, because in some places they look a bit patchy for some reason, not sure why. I was using crystal clear glue in those areas, but for some reason it just comes across as being a little bit patchy. But you can also see there that we've got the glow coming in from the footwells, which is great. And then if we can just sort of tighten up the zoom pan in a little bit, you'll be able to see we've got the stereo sort of center console display there, and also all of the dials done, and then around the buttons on the to the left of where the steering wheel is, you can see the little glow that's coming in through there as well. So that's not too bad. And again, you know, we've got the buttons down there as well, They sit next to the gear stick. So yeah, quite happy with the way that this is turning out actually. It's kind of where I thought it would be, to be quite honest. So quite happy with that. All I need to do really now is just work out, or sorry, work on the steering wheel, get that lit up, get the steering wheel in place and wired up, and also get the gear stick in, and the foot pedals on the dashboard, at the bottom of the dashboard, and then that is kind of job done for the interior. So we're getting there a bit slow, and then we've got to work on the lighting for the rest of the vehicle after that, which is going to be not so good fun, I don't think, because some of it's quite complicated. But there you go, that's just the way life is sometimes. So I'll leave it there. As soon as I've got some more work done to this wee beastie, I will come back to you. Got a bit more work done to the car. We've got most of the excuse me, we've got most of the chassis built up now. We've got the prop shaft in, the engine's in, all the front suspensions in, all the rear suspensions in, and the exhaust is in there too now, so that's not looking too bad. That's looking pretty good. Happy with the progress on that one. We've also been making some progress on the steering wheel as well. If we just zoom in for this, because I don't really want to move it that much. Let's see if we can get zoomed in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there's the steering wheel. Unfortunately, the masking tape has actually ripped off the paint there, which is a bit of a shame. But never mind, that's the way these things go, I guess. But what we've done is we've channeled everything out, as you most probably remember from one of the last videos. So that was done. We've then backfilled it halfway with funnily enough, it's the water effects from Woodland Scenic. We used to do that, and then that was painted orange, and then we've got hold of some of the 04, I think. Let's have a look just so we get right. So it was the 0401 pure white SMDs we used. So we've got one on each side. They were dunked in the orange paint as well. Let those dry, put those into place, and then I just set them in place using the Elmer's all-in-one glue. Once they were set in place and weren't moving, I then went over the back, as you can hopefully see there, with the green putty, the green squadron putty. So they're in place now. The other thing that I did do was I actually used the two, let's get those into shot, used the two steering wheel button decals to form a template using just the normal masking tape. Used the sharp knife and used the very edge of the blade to actually cut the templates out, and we then put those templates into place, so we know that we won't get any glue underneath those. Those have actually been burnished on there properly as well, so we don't get any bleed through, but they're looking quite good. If I just put the lights on, you can hopefully see the lights coming through the steering wheel there. We've got both of them connected to a 10k resistor at the moment. I might be tempted just to connect them to a 10k resistor each, just to sort of help bring it down. Not sure yet, I just have to have a little go at that. So the thing that's left for me really to do now is just completely respray the steering wheel the this spoke here and that spoke there where the lighting is, that needs to be done in aluminium. The same as the spoke there as well, that needs to be done in aluminium, and then the rest of it needs to be done in the brown and the peach colour. I'm just going to completely go over that. I got a bit too far ahead of myself when I started painting that, so I just need to go over that again just to tidy that up. Once that's done, I'll be able to get that bolted into the, or not bolted, sorry, I'll be able to get that glued into the dashboard. Once that's glued into the dashboard, I'll then be able to get all the wiring for the interior completely sorted out, and that will basically be the whole of the interior done and dusted. So at the moment I'm just going to be working on the steering wheel now, just to tidy up all the putty on the back side of it and get that generally smooth, and then once that's done, start painting it and then get it in. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, to be quite honest, but yeah, it's starting to come together, and I can't wait to get the steering wheel in, because that's really one of the last couple of bits that are left. The only three bits really left is the steering wheel, the little shroud, let's see if we can get this in. I've got the, there it is. So we've got this bit that needs to go in as well. That sits in behind the steering wheel. That just needs a bit of painting as well, really. So I can do that at the same time. And then I've also got the gear stick that needs to go in. So I'm kind of hoping that I'll be able to get quite a lot of that sorted out, and then that'll be the interior finished. And then I just need to work out how we're doing the lighting for the mood lighting in the doors, and also around the locks, the locking button and the door latch as well. See how we can do the lighting for those. And then we've got all of the interior lighting sorted out once those last few bits are done. So we're looking pretty good at the moment. We're in a bit of a good shape. So I'm just going to carry on, get those few bits and pieces done. And as soon as I've got those done and the interior is pretty much well sorted, I will come back to you. Now got the steering wheel lit up. It didn't go as well as I was hoping it would go. I mean, it does light up and it is orange, you can tell that it's orange. But it didn't kind of go as well as I was hoping it would. I think maybe what I should have had was maybe two SMDs in each side rather than just one, because you've got a point of light sort of virtually slap bang in the middle of the buttons, and then it kind of fades out, whereas I think if we'd have had one SMD on each side, you would have got an even coverage, even though it would have meant that I'd have had to have used a stronger resistor to bring down the light on it. But it's not looking too bad, especially for a first go on lighting a steering wheel. So if we just get the power switched on, if we can, let's just press the power button, there we go, and then we can turn out some lights. It is during the middle of the day at the moment, so it is still a bit bright outside. I've got the curtains closed, so hopefully that should help a bit. But yeah, there you can see the steering wheel all lit up, or well, all the buttons anyway. I think what I might end up doing, actually, because I've got them both of those SMDs connected to a 10k resistor, I might see about connecting sort of each of the SMDs to a 10k resistor instead. Hopefully that should dim it down a bit and should hopefully get rid of the bright spot. As you can see there on the right hand side, at the top, it's kind of faded out slightly, and it's kind of the same on the left hand side set of buttons as well. It's kind of faded out towards the back end, and that's one of the reasons why I've kind of thought to myself, well, you know, maybe we should have used two SMDs. But you know, for a first go, not too bad at all. I've only just got the decals on as well, so basically I need to let those dry now, and as soon as they are dry I'll then be able to clear coat it, install it into the dashboard, get that installed into the wiring, and then I'll also then be able to get the dashboard in place, which would be kind of like the last job for the lighting of the interior, apart from the door pockets that still need to be done. And I'm just currently still toying with the idea of how I'm actually going to get the SMDs or LEDs in there to get that sorted out. Just need to think about that a little bit more before we go ahead and do it. I am going to need some kind of light box in as well for it, so it doesn't so we don't get any light coming through where we don't want it. But yeah, I think I might call it quits on this video, actually, to be fair. I believe it's most probably gone on long enough by now. So I will catch up with you in, I believe it's part 6. So until then, thanks for watching, and please do take care.